Hey there, and welcome back to Hold and Modify, YouTube's most poorly produced, underproduced Amiga program. Program? I meant channel. Is there a difference? I don't know.
This computer will rule the world.
So, look, I've spent the last, I don't know, week talking about the PiStorm 32 because it's the new cool thing that I discovered, and I've been showing you all how it works, and the ups and the downs, and it's been great. I love it. It's a great thing, and I'm looking forward to the progress and the evolution of that product. But what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to extract the PiStorm 32 from my Amiga 1200, okay? And I'm going to set it aside for now because it works great. For what I need to do, yeah, it's like a miracle product, but it needs to evolve some more. And I'm kind of getting into a status where, you know, when you first get into Amiga collecting, or when you first get that bug of like, oh wow, you know what? I remember the Amiga. I used to use that when I was young, okay? And I want to start seeing if I can get back into it. And you start looking on eBay or the forums, and you start buying computers, and you get them, and you're just so happy to have your Amiga 500, your Amiga 600, your Amiga 1200. And then, you know, yeah, it'd be nice. Could it be faster? So you go out and maybe you find an original accelerator card, you put it in there, and or you find some like Amiga kit or Amiga on the Lake, you know, version or Innovision product that kind of does a little boost for it, gives it some memory, maybe gives it an FPU, and then you go down, you just fall down the rabbit hole, okay? And now you're doing everything. You're looking at FPGAs, and you're looking at the bare metal stuff like the PiStorm, and it's just you can get overwhelmed really, really quickly. And I mean, look at me. I've got the TF1260, which is an awesome card. And yeah, it uses a real 68060. Obviously, it uses these classic X-Link chips, and then the memory here for all else. And this is an amazing card. And I mean, yeah, it's a 68060 for an Amiga 1200. Running demos or rendering 3D stuff, that's why you would use this, of course. Other than that, though, I mean, you're not going to, I mean, the Amiga, as I've shown, the Amiga can web browse, but you're not going to, in this kind of chip, in a PiStorm, of course, or the, you know, others like it, will accelerate all that stuff. And yeah, it'll accelerate your web browsing, but it's not, you're not going to web browse on your Amiga full time. I mean, there's a lot that it can't do because of the limitations of the platform. So it got me thinking. And if you look over here to my right, you're going to see the 3000. I recently pulled out the Picasso card, the Picasso 4 card, because the 3000 is a great machine. Ham 6 is very limited in its graphics quality. It's a gorgeous format. It's a retro, you know, I know it's, I say it's a retro format. It looks retro because it is, it's old. Ham 6, this 3000 and the Amiga 2500 behind me are my only two computers that can do like Ham 6. You know what? I want that to stay that way. Now, of course, this 3000 is accelerated. It has a 68060 in it because, yeah, I do use it to do 3D work and accelerated work, and I want to make sure all my Amiga software is running as fast as it can, but I wanted to remove the other aspects of the upgrade. So I put the Picasso 4 in the closet. That's an expensive card. Unfortunately, it's grotesquely expensive now. So why not unplug it, you know, save it for later when maybe I'll need to actually use it. But for now, Ham 6 3000, awesome. I've got the 1200 with its Ham 8 and the 4000 with its Ham 8. Beautiful graphics modes. They look gorgeous. I love them to death. Why the reason I took that PiStorm out was because, and why aren't you just going to put the TF1260 back in, by the way? Why don't you just put that in there? Well, so look, as much as I like the Ham 6 mode in that Amiga 3000, I just want to have this amazing GVP, you know, 40 megahertz 68030 with its FPU back in the 1200, because this is, you know, I believe this is 32 megabytes, by the way. I think it could be 16, but it might be 32. I want to just have at least one AGA Amiga in my collection that is running, you know, real world speed hardware, okay? That's the term I use, real world speed hardware, because this is a 68030. Now this is, to me, you original Amiga guys who are like, I don't use anything new. I don't like new stuff. New stuff is not legit Amiga. I don't see the difference between these two products, other than this one is really, really fast. I mean, they're both accelerators and RAM expanders, so I don't know. I mean, this one is recent, this one is old. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one back in to the 1200, and my 1200 is going to now be running at a 40 megahertz 68030 with this GVP. I believe this is a GVP plus. Is this, I don't think this is a second edition. This is a first edition. Honestly, if I'm going to do like other stuff on this Amiga, I'm not going to, I mean, if I want to do gaming or demos, this is going to be fantastic. I don't need all of my Amigas to have bleeding edge speed, because honestly, I only ever use one of them to do my amazing, Lightwave 3D work. You notice how I said amazing Lightwave 3D work? My amazing Lightwave 3D work. That was pretty cool that I said that. It was kind of self-promotional. Anyway, my 4000. I use my Amiga 4000 to do my Lightwave 3D work because it gives me my ham 8 and it gives me fast speeds with its BFG 060 in there. So I don't need all of them to be this way. That's why I like the 3000 having the standard just ham 6 in it. It's great. It's flicker fixed. My 1200 has the Mark III in it that works with my little workaround. And let's go ahead and just put an original Amiga accelerator in it and experience the awesome Amiga as it was 35 years ago. So let's go do that. Okay, so as you remember, as we left my 1200, it had this PiStorm with its amazing fan in it. By the way, there's like a dozen comments. I'm probably exaggerating. There was a lot of comments that said you don't need to cool a Pi. I know it gets warm, it feels hot to the touch. You don't need to cool it. Everyone was like, I stack 3 of these things on top of each other and run them 110% and they don't blow up. Well, okay. I mean, I'm not saying that's not true. That's cool. But I'm always like, look, if you can relieve heat, relieve the heat, right? So that's why I put that fan in there. And also I kind of thought it made for a fun, entertaining video because I'm a moron when it comes to doing this stuff. So yeah, thank you for watching that video. If you hadn't, you can search my channel and find how this fan ended up in here. So I'm going to set the PiStorm. I'm going to set the PiStorm 32 to the side. And we are going to install the traditional GVP accelerator. Now, you may be asking, well, wait a minute, Q, you took the hard drive out, right? I did. I was booting from the PiStorm. So I'm going to put back in my compact flash drive. And this is running Amiga OS 3.2.2, and a lot of the software I have installed was installed with this 68060 in mind. So I don't know what's going to happen if I try to boot with a lot of the things I've done with this drive. So we're going to find out, I guess. We have the GVP 1230 installed, and as you can see, we do have a 32 meg GVP setup, which is really nice. So if I do actually want to utilize some web browsing or Lightwave, I can use that memory to help make it a little more efficient and faster. That's awesome. And let's go ahead and see if the networking still works smoothly. Yep, boom, mounted that really quick. In fact, now that we're actually using a GVP 1230 card, let's go on the internet and see if it's terribly slow. I mean, I've always shown this to you with the 68060, or then recently with the PiStorm 32. Now we're going to do it with the good old-fashioned 68030. And it takes a little longer to launch, as you would expect. I do believe there is a newer version of iBrowse, by the way. I am aware of that. I just haven't installed it yet. It wasn't terribly slow. So yeah, it is, look, it's a 68030 running at 40 megahertz. It's going to be slower than a 68060 or a PiStorm, obviously. But this is a legit, full 1200 experience. In fact, the only thing in here in this 1200 that's not of the era would be of course, the compact flash IDE adapter. But, it is an IDE hard drive. That compact flash and that adapter is IDE spec. So it's not anything fancy. It's doing about 1 megabyte a second. And then, of course, I have the Flicker Fixer. Now, a Flicker Fixer, it did not exist for the 1200 back then. I understand. We all know that. But it's on there. Obviously, you could use an external Flicker Fixer if you didn't want to mess with the internals of the 1200. But this internal one gives us the benefit of having this nice clean VGA output no matter where we go. So that's why I'm using it. And yeah, I mean, we'll go ahead and actually don't hit cancel. I want to go here and so now we're going to go to aminet.net and there it is. So let's click on sysspeed, S-Y-S-S-P-E-E-D, sysspeed. It helps to spell it out when you're doing it, by the way. And you can see the speed. Now, if you watch my last video, you're seeing all this happen in real time, so you can see the speed that's going on here. You know, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. There we go. Download that. Boom. Yeah, so if you look here, what don't you see versus the last video I made? You don't see sysspeed, right? That was the onboard hard drive of the PiStorm 32. So now we're back to this one. Okay, so what I'm not going to do is run through all of the same tests I did in the last video. We're going to launch sysspeed, and we're going to just keep it simple, okay? We're going to just run some of the most simplest tests. Let's go to the, what do you call it? The, click low here. Uh-oh. I can't click. It says, I'm waiting for your input. I know it's waiting for my input. And then I can't do anything. I'm clicking buttons. And there it goes. That's what we were waiting for. Let's reboot. Now, before everyone starts screaming at me, it's because you got all that 68060 stuff installed and it's making it unstable. Look, as far as I know, Amigas only use what they need. So yeah, I have all these libraries in here, but since there's no 68060 in here, it's not going to use the 68060 library. It's not trying to use the 060 or 040 library with this 030. It's going to use the 030 library. And same with the MMU. So, I mean, it's even got all the GVP init stuff in here. So, in fact, let's just go to my standby program that always seems to work and doesn't have weird problems the way sysspeed does. Sorry, guys, but yeah, I mean, look, this just works. Now, 68030 MMU not in use. This is a warning sign that this is not properly installed. So, that's true. Let's go ahead and run this here. See what we get for our MIPS and MFLOPS. Yeah, 6.82 MIPS. 1.13 MFLOPS, chip speed 2.2. Not bad, not bad. We got all our memory here, 32 megs, 2 megs chip, boom. We can go to drive. Unlike last time, we can click speed and it shouldn't, reboot and crash. Divide by 0 here, and we're going to get probably like 1.1 megabytes a second. Hey, we got 1.3, almost 1.4. That's not bad. So, you could probably resolve this by reinstalling the MMU libs, which, you know what I'm going to do? Instead of going through the whole 3.2 thing, rigmarole again, let's go ahead and just download it fresh from Aminet, right? Let's do that. All right, so I went to Aminet and downloaded the latest package of the MMU lib, and I'm installing it on this 1200 with the GVP 16030 in it. Hopefully, this will, fix all the stuff, right? So I chose the novice option because I'm a novice. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm hoping it's detecting what hardware I have installed, and it's going to make all the appropriate changes. By the way, this MMU lib was recently updated, like this month, like today or yesterday. It was crazy, like in March here. We're in like the 3rd week of March, and it was right around St. Patrick's Day here in the States, and it was just updated. So I'm going to have to propagate this MMU lib update to all the rest of my Amigas, but hey, pretty cool that it's been updated just as I'm trying to put this GVP in here. Okay, we are now booted. I'm going to go to my trusty always works sysinfo, whether it's accurate or not. At least it doesn't do weird shit like sysspeed does. Open it up, and MMU not in use. Wah, wah, wah. All right, well, maybe it is. And again, you folks, you can go there and check the Amiga database. It's possible that the GVP 1230 just doesn't support that function. Okay, and you can leave a comment, please, if it doesn't. I don't know, does it? I mean, I can go to Google too and look this up, but for those that don't want to go do that, they can just look down in the comments and say, yeah, this does not support MMU. Not the worst thing in the world, by the way, if it doesn't. And let's go ahead and run speed check again now that we've updated the libs. Okay, well, actually, all right, that's pretty cool. That's nice. All right, things are going good. There's the 40 megahertz, so it's pretty slick. That's working. I'm liking that. Of course, yes, I'm going to go ahead and try and run sysspeed again. So here we go. And bam. And what I'm trying to do here is just run the simple libs test. Now it says, I'm waiting for your input. Okay, so I click on the Oh, okay, there we go. Low. Hey, it's working. So let's go ahead and click CPU, and it's going to freeze up for now. That's fine. And there you go. We're getting 12.94 MIPS. So far, it's reporting 12.94, which is definitely different than sysinfo, and 0.87 mflops. All right. Now, in the last time I ran this with the PiStorm 32, I could not get an accurate drive speed. So let's go ahead and click drive. And let's see if this does the exact same thing and reports nothing, or if it actually reports results. Oh, no, it is actually reporting results this time because, again, even though it's a compact flash, it is a IDE hard drive. So we're actually getting results here, which is pretty slick. Cool. All right. And then here you go. Look at that. Instead of 2 gigs of fast memory or 1.2 gigs of fast memory, 32 megabytes of fast memory, 2 megs of chip. And of course, it still doesn't know what the operating system is. But yeah, now we actually have some hard drive results there. So that's that onboard IDE flash there. Not bad. I'm not going to go through and run all this other stuff. We already did that the last time. But at least this is working now and not crashing. So that's good. There we go. So this is it, folks. This Amiga 1200 is now a 40 megahertz 68030 GVP with an FPU and 32 megabytes of memory. A much closer real world kind of classic Amiga experience 35 years ago, right? I've got plenty of Amigas that are boosted up and crazy fast, so let's keep one AGA Amiga, you know, more quote unquote legit, how it was back in the day. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. That's why he did it. Thank you for watching. I guess that's it. You know what I'm going to say. I'm done with this video.